feel like having a lapel mic just makes you look like you know what you're doing. You know, you're like, I have a microphone. I have something to say. When I uploaded my how much I make on YouTube videos, I realized after reading through the comments that there are lots of small creators out there that are looking for support and for resources when it comes to starting and maintaining a YouTube channel. I know that it can feel so overwhelming and intimidating to start putting yourself out there on camera. I completely empathize with that. And if I can be a place of support and encouragement for you, that is what I want to be. So in today's video, I wanted to keep the topic of YouTube channels and small creators and getting started going by talking about the ultimate filming and editing starter kit for beginners here on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing with you all of the equipment, the software, and the apps that I personally use, all of my subscriptions, just all of my stuff. All of these items I think are very beginner friendly, very easy to use, reasonable in terms of price, and you absolutely don't need everything that I'm going to talk about. I just want this to serve as sort of a starting point if you are a small or a new content creator, and I think all of these tools will help you in furthering your YouTube channel and just will aid you in your content creation journey. Now, I'm sure you've heard this before, but when you're first starting out, you absolutely do not need a ton of fancy filming equipment and editing software. That is completely unnecessary. And I would say to a small creator or a beginner that it's so much more important to focus on getting into the habit of creating videos and finding your style and your voice on camera and focusing on the actual information and the content of your video rather than all of the gear and equipment. I think it's a lot more important to start there. I've talked a lot about embracing the messy and chaotic learning and experimentation process. Making videos is at the end of the day a creative endeavor, and so the equipment shouldn't be the first place that you start. If you have a smartphone, you already have a very powerful filming and editing tool right in your pocket. It really is as simple as tweaking some of your camera settings to optimize video quality, filming in a quiet area with tons of natural light, and editing in free and very easy to use apps such as CapCut or InShot or iMovie, all of which are free and very easy to use. That being said, if you are currently a beginner but are further along to the point where you're looking to upgrade some of your equipment or maybe just buy new equipment because you don't have anything right now, I am going to go through all of my recommendations of all the stuff that I currently use and love. Starting off with my camera. When I first started on YouTube, I had an old Nikon camera, just a DSLR from Costco that my dad bought me many years ago. And that camera was great to start off with. Definitely, I was glad that I had a little bit of a leg up over a phone, even though phones are great too. But the problem with that camera is it was very heavy, very bulky, and it actually was a little too heavy for the tripod that I'm currently using, so that was kind of tough. And it also didn't have a flip out screen like my current camera does, and the autofocus was atrocious. I actually filmed an entire video once, like start to finish everything, and then I was gonna start editing it and realized that the entire thing was out of focus. So I was very excited to finally upgrade to my current camera, which is a Canon EOS M50, and I have the Mark I. For this current camera that I have, I paid $650 for it at Best Buy in 2021, but now you can actually get the Canon EOS M50 Mark II, which is a slightly upgraded version. It's almost pretty much the same, but there are a few key differences. You can get that upgraded version for like 600 bucks on Best Buy or Amazon. It's definitely not cheap, but you can get a great, lightweight, very easy to use camera for $600 if you are trying to get the same one that I have, just a little bit upgraded. The main things that I love about this camera is, again, the autofocus. I did not have that on my old Nikon. The autofocus on this is great. I also like that it's very lightweight. It's very easy to travel with, to vlog with. It's not bulky, and the quality on it is fantastic. I have absolutely no complaints. I really enjoy the quality that this camera produces. I also like that there's a flip out screen. It is very helpful to be able to look over at yourself while you're filming because, again, with my Nikon, and even if you're shooting on smartphone but you're using the back camera, which does have better quality, you can't see yourself. So if you've got something in your teeth or in your hair, you are not gonna find out about it until you are editing. So having that flip out screen has also been very helpful for me. It also has a very easy touchscreen interface. I just, again, am not a camera expert by any means. In fact, most of the time, I know this is probably like heresy to actual film people, but a lot of the times I just film in auto mode. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've put it in manual, and it does a great job. It's just a very easy to use, very straightforward camera. Moving on to tripods, this is where I get to talk about the light of my life. This is not sponsored, by the way, like by any of these brands or companies or anything. I'm just telling you what I actually use and love. But the light of my life, the Joby GorillaPod. I learned about this bad boy in my media class in high school. And so I knew that when I started my YouTube channel, I wanted to eventually have this for vlogging. It is essentially it's a tripod, but the legs are flexible. Like they can twist and like wrap around anything. And again, this is very easy to travel with. I always take this with me when I'm vlogging on the go. It has, so this is the attachment for if I want to like screw my camera on. So it's good with my camera. It also has a phone attachment, so I can put my phone in here. I love this tripod. It just really provides me with some good stability on the go. I paid, I think, $80 for this in 2021 at Best Buy, but I personally think it has been worth every penny for me. And of course, because of its design, it's great on any terrain. So if you are wanting to set it on some rocks or just like anywhere outside, it's great. It's not gonna break. It's very sturdy, which I appreciate. The other tripod that I have is also by Joby. This is what it looks like. It is, I believe, 61 inches, or it can be 61 inches tall. As you can see, it's got the legs here that are adjustable, and you can make it as long or as short as it needs to be. It has this swivel head up here. Again, it also has a camera and a phone attachment. And the reason that I like this is, well, first of all, with the GorillaPod, I have to set it on a surface if I want to get a higher shot. But with this, it can be as tall as I need it to be, which is great in some scenarios. The other thing about this is I've had multiple just cheap tripods from Amazon, and we'll talk about one of my cheap tripods when we get to the lighting portion, when we talk about the ring light. But the reason that I wanted this and that I like this is because it is so much sturdier than my cheap tripods off of Amazon. I've broken at least 2 or 3 cheap tripods off of Amazon, and this one, like, these legs are not getting broken. Like, they are so strong. I have traveled with this, and I just think it's a good sturdy tripod to have. I don't honestly remember exactly how much I paid for it, but I checked online and it looks like it's also selling for around the same price point as the GorillaPod, between $70 to $80. Now, again, to emphasize, you might be thinking, Irina, you spent how much on tripods? I totally get it. Like, that is quite steep. But again, you can get, and I will try to link some in my description box, you can get really, really cheap vlogging tripods and stationary, just like big tripods on Amazon. The reason I got these is because I wanted something that was going to last me longer, that I was very unlikely to break. So that is why I upgraded to these after having some cheaper versions off of Amazon. So, you know, start with where you want to start. Again, I bought these when I was further along, so it's totally up to you. I just want to share what I am currently actually using right now. Now let's talk about my ring light. I will insert some footage so you can see what it looks like. As far as lighting, you know, besides like the light that I just have in the room where I'm filming in, the ring light is the only exterior light source that I use. Like, I don't have any light boxes or anything, although I am looking into that. So this tripod and ring light that I film with in my studio is from Amazon. It was $35, so obviously a much cheaper version of a tripod than the $80 ones that I just showed you. It does a great job. The only thing about it, I'm going to talk about the tripod portion and then the ring light. The thing about the tripod is the legs are so, they're very thin, and they are very easily, like, I could snap them probably pretty easily. So I just keep it in the studio and I don't really travel with it because I'm afraid that I'll break it. Other than that, the tripod does a great job. This is what I use all the time in my studio, and it pretty much stays in the same spot all the time. The ring light portion of it is great because, first of all, you can change the temperature of the light. I'm gonna actually show you right now. If you go like, yeah, there you go. You can change it from, see, the last one was like cooler, this one is warmer, this one is very cool, this one is very warm, and this is just like the regular light. So that's pretty cool. You can achieve, depending on what kind of look you want to achieve, you can change the temperature, and you can increase or decrease the intensity of the light as well. So I really like that about this ring light. Now moving on to microphones. I actually probably should have started with microphones, because I will tell you, if there is anything that you are going to start investing in, not that these are super expensive, or the lapel one that I'm about to show you, it's not like outrageously expensive, but if you are going to start investing somewhere, I would invest in the audio quality of your videos before you invest in like the actual imagery. The first microphone, let me get it, it's like a very long corded microphone that I got was, let's double check the price, $57 on Amazon. It's like completely like knotted because it's a very long cord, but it is a lapel microphone. It just clips onto your shirt. It's awesome. This microphone is what I started with. It just plugs into my camera, and the audio quality after I started using this microphone, this minimized a lot of the echo. It really made the audio just so much more crisp, and you could really tell the difference. So this is what I would buy. If I was a beginner, I would definitely buy this again. $57, really great lapel microphone, and it really just, I feel like having a lapel mic just makes you look like you know what you're doing. You know, you're like, I have a microphone. I have something to say. So that is what I would buy. This is from Amazon. I will link it below. The brand is called Deity. And I love this microphone. The only reason that I don't use it anymore is because I upgraded to a Rode microphone that sits on top of my camera. It was $100 from Best Buy. I love it. I love that I don't have to mess with the cord anymore, but you definitely don't have to shell out hundreds of dollars on a microphone like the Rode microphone. A lapel mic will be great. All right, now let's talk SD cards. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. It's very self-explanatory, but I do recommend having at least 2 SD cards that you can rotate out. I typically buy the 128 gig SanDisk SD cards. I believe they are around $30, so I can film for a long time before I actually fill up my SD card, which is awesome. Now some extras that I would recommend. The first thing is an extra battery for your camera. Actually, this is a great case study because this is my original battery that came with the camera. My extra battery is in the camera right now because this one was dead. So having them to rotate out has just made me so much more efficient. My extra battery, I bought it for $40 at Best Buy. The other thing is having an external hard drive. I have a Toshiba external hard drive from Amazon. I don't remember how much I paid for this one specifically, but I think for 1 terabyte, they usually range between $50 to $70 depending on the hard drive. So I'll try to find some good ones and link them in the description, but 1 terabyte is a ton of storage. It's so great to have something external separate from your laptop and your SD cards to store important files. Now let's talk super briefly about software and apps that I use for editing my videos and creating my thumbnails. First things first, for editing, I wish that I was one of those cool content creators that would say, I use Adobe Premiere Pro or I use Final Cut Pro, because those are the ones that I hear most often, and I have used Premiere Pro before. It's a great editing software, but I use something else. I actually use a program called Vegas Movie Studio 17 Platinum. It was recommended to me by my husband. It is a good editing software, like definitely very easy to use, and I think it was only a one-time payment for us of about $80. And I don't have to pay monthly or annually for it or anything. So it's a good editing software. Definitely something that I would recommend. However, it does crash pretty often. So I've gotten into the habit of like literally every few minutes, I'm not even exaggerating, I hit Control S to save my video as I'm editing, because I have had it crash before and I lose my progress, which is devastating. So that's the only thing that I don't like about it. There are a few other things, I'm not gonna get too technical about it, that I think the program could be better at. I like that we only paid for it one time and I just use it and I don't have to pay annually, but if you are considering an editing software and you want to level up, I think Premiere Pro is a really great one. I've just gotten so used to Vegas Movie Studio that I haven't wanted to switch it yet because I feel like I'm in a flow now with editing my videos. And truly the best editing software is the one that you know how to use. It doesn't have to be any specific program that other content creators use. It's just what you're comfortable with. So that's why I've stuck with this one up until this point. But I think if you are just starting out, or if you are looking to upgrade and you're not super dedicated to any one program, this one could be a good one, but I think Premiere Pro is probably the gold standard when it comes to editing software. I also will say Vegas Movie Studio renders really, really beautifully. I haven't really had any issues with rendering my files fairly quickly, as long as I don't have a ton of stuff on my laptop itself. So it renders pretty fast. The quality is fantastic, and you can customize the rendering settings, the export settings, to make sure that you are having your video be as high quality as possible. So that's that. I also do use Capwing sometimes. This is an editing software that is, I would say, extremely user-friendly. Like, it's not very technical at all, super, super easy to use. It's just a subscription that I pay $192 for annually. And the reason that I had actually bought it in the first place is because I was editing a Zoom recording interview and I couldn't upload that file, that recording, into Vegas Movie Studio for some reason. So I was like, okay, I need an editing software. So I found Capwing and I edited that video, but there are a few things that Capwing does that Movie Studio doesn't that I like to keep this subscription around for. One of those things is it auto generates captions for me. I did that with my interview with Paolo Tiramani, the CEO of Boxable. Because the audio on that video was kind of, there were good parts and bad parts, I wanted there to be captions on the screen, but obviously going through like a half hour of footage and doing all of the captions manually is exhausting, and Capwing will just generate those for you automatically, which is an awesome feature. You can edit horizontal videos on there, vertical videos on there. The other great thing is it has a lot of fun fonts, it has a ton of stock photos and videos, it has sound effects on there. It has just a lot of different things. Like, usually when I'm editing in Vegas Movie Studio, I have to go elsewhere to get my stock footage. But on Capwing, it's really all right there, and it's so easy to use. It might not be a super fancy, super technical and cool editing software for like professionals. It's definitely like not on that level. But I think if you're a beginner and you are looking for something that's super, super easy to use, Capwing is fantastic. For my thumbnails, I pay for Canva Pro. I love Canva. I will recommend it forever. I pay $120 for it annually. Before I started paying for Canva Pro, I just used the free version, but Canva Pro is so worth it for me, especially for one particular feature, and that is the automatic background remover feature. If I just want a cutout of myself, I click one button on Canva and it does it for me. And if you have ever tried to remove the subject from the background of a photo in Photoshop, you know that that can be such a pain and so time consuming. So when I found out that Canva does that with the click of a button, I was like, I'm paying for this subscription. Like, it is totally worth it for me. It also has a lot of stock photos and videos that I use often in my videos. It has a lot of great fonts. Again, it's very, very easy to use, just like Capwing. It's very user-friendly, not super technical at all. Like, anybody can go on there and figure it out within a few minutes. So Canva Pro is definitely what I use for my thumbnails and what I will probably use for my thumbnails until the end of time. I love Canva Pro. For copyright-free music, I am currently subscribed to a website called Thematic. It's $60 annually. It's got great copyright-free music. Before I decided to pay for Thematic, I was finding copyright-free music on YouTube. That's the, easy, free way to do it. However, I did run into some issues with copyright claims, and sometimes you think something is copyright free, but it's not. And then the other thing is having to search high and low for songs and tracks that you want to use in your vlogs just on YouTube can take so long. Like, I remember this, there were a few times where it took me hours to find the right music that I needed. But with a website like Thematic or like Epidemic Sound, which is what a lot of really big content creators use, it is very curated for you, and you know that all the stuff on there is copyright free, period. So you don't really have to worry about those copyright claims as much as when you're just finding music on your own. With Epidemic Sound, I think in addition to copyright free music, they also have a huge library of sound effects that you can use. And I believe Epidemic Sound is priced at $108 annually. So I've thought about switching it, but honestly, I'm happy with the Matic. It's a little bit cheaper and it does the job, so that's what I use. I am so excited to hear from you in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the equipment or the software that I talked about. If you have any other recommendations outside of what I talked about, or maybe I mentioned something and you're like, girl, I have a much better recommendation, let me know in the comments below. I'm definitely still, again, a very small creator. I am not an expert on any of this, just kind of sharing what I'm currently doing. So I would love to hear your thoughts and your recommendations in the comments. And let me know if you are a small creator and where you are in the journey of making videos. Have you not started yet? Did you just recently start? Are you like a year in? I want to hear all your stories, all your experiences in the comments below. I love talking with you guys down there. I am wishing you the absolute best of luck in creating your videos. I hope that you are extremely successful, that you experience a lot of growth of your YouTube channel in 2023, and whatever it is your creative endeavor is, I just hope that you never stop having fun with it, that you prioritize enjoying it, because when you enjoy it, you are going to make the best videos and the best content possible. So I am rooting for you. I am your cheerleader. If you ever need me to hype you up, I've got inspirational videos on this channel. I've got tutorial and technical information videos on this channel. We've got it all. So definitely, I hope that you consider subscribing. I hope that you consider joining me weekly for new videos. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you, and I will see you next week for a brand new video. Bye.